Warning: the opinions expressed in this video do not represent YouTube, associations, agencies, or any particular individuals. They are merely from two guys needing to pass the boredom of their average day lives. Some explicit content may occur in this or future presentations. Viewer discretion may be advised, but ignored if you're into that thing.
Hello everybody! Welcome to the Shocktoberfest on the Wild Wolf Show.
Woo!
I'm Wild Man West.
I'm a big bad wolf Benny.
Well, we all know what today is.
Friday the 13th. And before we go on, I have to give a birthday shout out to my little sister Molly. Oh my lord, you are 25 today.
Happy birthday, Molly.
I hope you're 25. I'm just going off of what I remember. So I hope it's 25, otherwise I'm a bad brother. But at least you got a birthday shout out, so hey.
True.
How many people say they can do that?
Not many.
Alright, rabble, back to the show.
Yeah, and I hope you enjoy my little, I'm festive for the occasion. I love Friday the 13th. I really do.
Series.
In spite of what the trailer said earlier, you know, I mean, I've always had a special place in my heart.
Speaking of, how the hell are we going to do a whole series of 10 movies in like 15 to 20 minutes, man? It's like impossible.
Yeah, that's a good question, you know?
I'm just saying, like, are we going to go through every movie plot? Because they're like almost all the same, with a couple differences.
I got it.
What do you mean you got it?
Oh, trust me, dude. This is going to be awesome.
But,
excuse me a moment. Okay, so this is Friday the 13th 101. Starting with Friday the 13th Part 1. The story begins with a bunch of camp counselors wanting to reopen Camp Crystal Lake, aka Camp Blood. As this is going on, we have a mysterious murderer picking them off one by one. It turns out it was a former cook of Camp Crystal Lake known as Pamela Voorhees. The reason why she's killing them off is because her young son Jason drowned while some counselors were making love. Well, she decides she's going to kill the last remaining victim, but she gets the tables turned on her and she gets her head cut off. Moving on to Friday the 13th Part 2. Now, once again, a bunch of counselors are going to Camp Crystal Lake to reopen the camp and have a little fun in the process. Now this time, they're getting picked off one by one, and it is, dun dun dun, Jason Voorhees himself in a burlap mask. Well, as this is going on, one of them feels sorry for him, and she turns the tables on him anyways by putting a big machete through his shoulder. Now we move on to Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. 3D aspect wasn't all that great, but the movie was good for what it was. Once again, a bunch of kids are going to the camp to, actually this is not a Camp Crystal Lake moment, this is a side camp, but it's close to Camp Crystal Lake. They are getting picked off one by one, once again by Jason, and one of them, being an actor himself, happens to have a whole lot of props, and one of them is a hockey mask. And Jason kills him, takes his hockey mask, so copyright infringement on his part, but he gets the tables turned on him because one of the victims actually had an encounter with him years before. So she gets the tables turned on him, he gets hung, he gets an axe in his head, and, well, rest is history. Moving on to Friday the 13th Part 4, aka the final chapter. In this one, takes place right after Part 3. He escapes from the morgue, he goes back to Camp Crystal Lake and terrorizes a bunch of whole new teenagers, one of them being a little kid, Tommy Jarvis, who was played by a young Corey Feldman after pretty much around the time of the Goonies. So, Tommy Jarvis, being a little bit of a shut-in, a little bit of a comic book and a special effects makeup nerd, he turns the tables on Jason himself by hacking him to death with a machete. Moving on to Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. In this one, this isn't the real Jason. This one is an imposter. He comes by to kill a bunch of people at a halfway house by Camp Crystal Lake because they chopped up his fat kid, just all over a candy bar. So, yeah. Now, moving on to Part 6. This one, Tommy Jarvis is a little older, and I forgot to mention that in Part 5, Tommy Jarvis is part of that one, and he takes care of Jason once again. Now he's coming back to finish the job by cremating him. Well, he screws up, and it becomes a situation of Frankenstein proportions. Camp Crystal Lake is going to be opened up once again, and, well, Jason's not going to have that one bit. Well, Tommy comes back, and he saves the day. Da-da-da-da! And he goes off into the sunset with his little friend who's Dad was a sheriff of the county, and, well, yeah. So, moving on to Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. In this one, a bunch of kids are going out to Camp Crystal Lake to have a little fun for a birthday party. Well, one of them outside of the camp has a little bit of a telekinetic problem, and her shrink is really exploiting that fact. Well, she accidentally brings Jason back to life. Uh-oh. Well, Jason goes around terrorizing all the kids, killing them one by one until the girl has a little epiphany that she has to use telekinesis powers to finish him off. And she does. Moving on to Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. A bunch of graduating seniors from Camp Crystal Lake are going over to Manhattan to celebrate their big, exciting time getting out of high school. Well, guess what? Jason's there. He shows up on the boat and, well, starts killing them off one by one. They get to Manhattan. They're only there for about 20 minutes and then the movie's over. So technically it's Jason on a boat. So after Paramount got rid of the whole Friday the 13th franchise, in 1993, near 1994, New Line Cinema picked it up after having to kill off Freddy, and they decided to do Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. This one, all I have to say is, Jason gets blown up at the beginning, somebody eats his heart, he transfers from person to person, and then, well, you find out he had a sister, and, I thought he was an only child, but, well, movie magic. Anyways, Stephen Williams from 21 Jump Street is the bounty hunter, and he basically tries to help everybody kill Jason off. And he does. And then Freddy's hand comes up at the end, trying to give us the idea of a Freddy vs. Jason spinoff. Moving on to Jason X. Jason was in space. That's about it.
Dude, where the hell were you?
What do you mean?
You got up and you jumped and you disappeared. What do you mean, what do I mean? I'm sitting here for like ever trying to talk to these people about how I'm going to do a series by myself.
This guy. Well, anyways, we hope you enjoyed that whole history of Friday the 13th.
Whatever.
You weren't there, so just deal with it.
Fine, whatever.
So anyways, now that we've briefly touched on all the 10 movies of Friday the 13th, we're going to jump into which movie we like the most, which movie we don't like the most, and we're going to do, we're going to pass the torch back and forth, which ones, and then our favorite kill from whichever movie, and it could be anyone, except involving Jason's mother or Jason. Those deaths do not count. It has to be a victim.
It does have to be a victim. Well, that's fair. Okay.
And then we're going to grade the whole series, not necessarily the movies by themselves.
So now, in general, now, guys,
we wanted to make this short and sweet because we knew if we did all 10 movies, this would be like a 3-hour episode, and we know that everybody has a life. So
yes,
we're saving you. We're saving you.
Now, guys, remember too when we say the whole series, that's all 10 movies. So if we give it, say, a C or something, that's because there's 5 or 6 of them that we can kind of do without. So don't get harsh and say like, oh, these guys hate Friday the 13th. No, we love Friday the 13th. No, but because the series is so big, there's going to be some stinkers in there, and there is. So we're trying to be
with a lot of horror series.
Yes.
All right. So rabble. Benny, what's your favorite out of all 10 Friday the 13th films?
It's got to be the first one.
First one?
Because one, it started it off, and this is kind of, there's like no supernatural in it. It's just a person trying to get revenge. Because, she's grief-stricken. All that stuff. So I think that's probably why I like it the best. The second one's near close, too, because, Jason comes back, so the whole supernatural thing kind of starts. So that's why I like it.
Okay. I would have to say that apart from a lot of the gore being edited out of the movie, I like Part 7. I know people are probably going to say, what? How do you like Part 7? Mainly because that introduced us to the Jason we all know and love, the iconic, awesome guy to meet, Kane Hodder. I mean,
it's true.
Well, the thing is, it's like I've seen rough cuts of the deleted footage from Part 7. Gruesome. They should have kept it in. Even John Carl Buechler actually said in a documentary, the ratings board raped his movie. And they did. And shame on them. Because you know what? Some of these horror movies really didn't need that much, editing. I mean, granted, yeah, but John Carl Buechler spent a lot of time, a lot of money on those special effects.
He did.
And a lot of it got edited out. But for what that was still in the movie, I liked it. I liked
it's not the worst one.
I like the concept about Tina having telekinesis and being able to match Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's finally somebody could actually make Jason scratch his bald, wrinkled head under his hockey mask, going, this one's good. So
yeah, it was a different pace instead of always seeing all these people
Yeah.
who, they try to hurt him, but he's a big guy.
Yeah, but I like the concept of how she turned the tables on him.
Yeah, it was cool.
Some of the times, because at times it finally made Jason kind of look like a dingus.
Yeah.
I mean, like roof falling over.
Now comes the worst part of this
Oh
video.
boy.
What one do you hate the most? Because I think I know which one you're going to say.
Jason X.
Yeah.
Jason X all the way. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Just
I mean, let's put it this way. Part 2 was kind of hit or miss. Part 5 was kind of what. Part 8, I understand. Yeah. It didn't really take place in Manhattan in the first place for only 5 minutes. But Jason X, it just, yeah. The special effects alone and the deaths couldn't save it.
The one I hate the most, Jason Goes to Hell. We're yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't like how, the heart thing, he's, the guy, and he becomes Jason.
Yeah, and there's a lot of plot holes, too.
A lot of plot. So that's what really killed it for me. Was
about the long-lost sister, and even though Pamela says, my only child in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, then again, it could be that her husband Elias had a daughter in a previous marriage.
Or something like that.
But they never specify that.
Plot holes. And that's what kills me. So that's why Jason Goes to Hell. It's not a bad one, it's just, I don't like there's too many plot holes.
But however, it did set us up at the end
for
Freddy versus Jason.
So that's why it's kind of, but it's still, I just didn't like the plot of the movie, I'm sorry. Doctor eats the heart of Jason, then pretty much becomes Jason, and then you go, rabble, no, I can't do it.
Hey, at least we got Stephen Williams from 21
cool.
Jump Street in it. Creighton Duke was awesome, though.
Now, what's your favorite kill?
Favorite kill?
There's so many.
Oof. Oh, I would say... I mean, as much as I love Part 7, I mean, the sleeping bag death on that was creative, but it got edited too much. Sandra in Part 3, the harpoon, the spirit of the eye. Oh, man.
Great. All right, now, I know
that
this
was
guy...
just awesome for me.
Guy hates Jason X, I get it. But my favorite scene is when he kills with liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, face salad. Yeah.
That was just epic. It was cool. You kind of never seen anything like that before. The only thing close we had to that would be Terminator 2 with
T-1000s.
T-1000s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, well, it's a liquid. It doesn't count. But you got to see what happens to a human face if it gets put in liquid nitrogen. And then, by the way, it gets popped. So that was just a cool
I think that was the only good part of the movie.
That was the best part.
Apart from KM, the android getting the upgrade. That was pretty cool. But that special effects alone cannot save a movie sometimes.
So anyways, that's all we can talk about the series. I guess this guy rabbled on or something. I don't know what he does when he disappears. But anyway, I hope he gave you somewhat coherent history of the movie series, because if not, I don't know what I was sitting here doing nothing for I don't know how long he was gone, but some time. But anyway, guys, I am the Big Bad Wolf Benny.
I'm Wild Man Wes, and we forgot to grade this.
Oh, we did. I'm sorry, guys.
Shame on you, dude. I know I was gone for a long time.
See, you got me confused. Well, what are you giving the series? This is really tough.
I mean, there was a decent amount of movies in there that were good. I mean, passable. There were a couple stinkers. I will say that. Altogether, I would probably give this one a B-. Like the whole series in general. The whole series in general.
That's a fair assumption.
I would say some of the writing and the acting sometimes would probably be a little lesser. But I mean, I would say the special effects, the innovation of the deaths. Oh yeah. I mean, I would say that helped a lot.
I'm gonna agree with you 120%, but I'm gonna give it a B just because it is Jason.
Okay.
So it is Jason. So we gotta give him. I'm gonna give him a B for the series because it's really not a bad series. They get a little crazy with some of the storylines, but it's a horror movie about a supernatural guy.
I would have given it a solid B if it weren't for Jason X.
Yes.
So.
But anyway, guys, well, let's try this again then. I'm the Big Bad Wolf Benny.
I'm Wild Man Wes.
And if you guys like this, hit that like button, leave us a comment below, share this video,
and as always, push the red button. Because every time we get some more subscribers, we get some more content for you. The more content we can give, who knows?
The better off.
We can move on up.
So anyway, guys, this was day 13, and again, Molly, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Molly.
We will see you tomorrow for day 14 of the Wild Wolf Show's Shocktoberfest.
See you tomorrow.
What's going on, man?
Are you ready for these cartoon specials, man?
I am. Dude, what the hell are you wearing?
What? It's my Charlie Brown shirt.
You remember we're doing Halloween specials, not Christmas specials.
Well, they get the idea.
Yes.